This podcast was recorded during the WGA and SAG-AFTRA strikes. Without the labor of the writers and actors currently on strike, Wonka and a lot of the other things we cover on this podcast wouldn't exist.
Felicia, I have the best news. So,
What?
our Wonka album, it didn't really do great in the States. That's fair. It's a harsh market. But in Austria, we're fucking blowing up, man. It's wild. And they want us to go on tour. So, I've been looking at different venues. Wasn't really able to find a lot of goo-goo clusters. Apparently, they only exist in the U.S. and Nashville. I think I say that not knowing. Probably. We're going to go with it. But I found the perfect place for us to do our first little concert. And it's a chocolate factory in Austria that has lots of chocolate, a farm, and other silly quirkiness to it. And I've never heard of it before. And a Wonka scholar brought it to us, and we're gonna fucking sing our hearts out. We're gonna be in the concha machine, breaking it down, because you're gonna be my beatboxer, as we all obviously figured.
Ooh. Yeah.
You'll have a spoon in a box, just going.
You know what I can do? I can do that like the 90s dance hall track, weird guy yelling.
Oh yes,
Hands in the air! I can do that.
I love the Beastie Boys element is kind of what I'm gathering here. Yeah. Oh, it's perfect. Yeah. That. We're going to remix it. All our Austrian fan will be so excited. Welcome to Wonka Watch, the podcast that's kind of talking about this Wonka movie coming up that's in December, and it's kind of been leading up to it, and it's weird because it's happening, but we also just talk about anything in the Wonkaverse, and we also like to talk about things that are Wonka adjacent that are interesting in the world, like Wonka in the wild. And I'll read off the email here after our Wonka Watch news, but a listener flagged us down from Austria, and they were like, I have a little secret for you, and it's the Zotter Chocolate Factory that has heavily been compared to Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory. And I'm very excited to share all these goodies with you, Felicia, because I think it'll bring you joy from the Hershey Chocolate Factory experience that we went through, but add 3 more layers of quirk, because it's a silly time. So
I love this shit. So I'm very excited.
Oh,
but oh my god, I'm at the U.S. Embassy in Austria, and I'm picking up my mail. I'm picking up my traveler's checks. Ooh.
Why do you always get it as physical snail mail, this Wonka news? I love that it's never a text. It's always
it's fucking whimsy, Elaine. What
I love it.
Oh no, actually, I'm checking my mail at the embassy. There's nothing here. But what's this? Oh my god. There's a little turtle, and he's dancing around, and he's coming in the little car, and he's got mail for me. He says, beep, 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 beep. Felicia, mail for you. And I pick it up. Wow. Oh, this took a while to get to me, huh? This is from July.
Oh, wow.
And it's more Timothee Chalamet fashion. So.
Yes, our favorite.
I want you guys to know, literally the articles we talked about last week, same articles in my Wonka Digest every day. Nothing new, nothing has changed. I do want to give a quick shout out, though, to something not on the snail mail. Friend of the pod and friend of the me, Jill, texted me, hey, so the Netflix show Marriage or Mortgage, which... Jill, why the fuck are you watching Marriage or Mortgage? I know you're recovering from surgery, but is it that bad? Why are you watching Marriage or Mortgage? Why did you start watching that?
Whoa.
Said with love, Jill.
Arguably one of the worst show premises.
Yeah, it's horrible.
You choose the mortgage.
Yeah.
What?
Anyway, they have an episode called 8 Years in the Making where you see Nashville's goo-goo clusters and they create candy bars. So you get to see inside. So if you or I want to view that just in our own time, she said, I heaved a sigh once I realized what it was. One that I almost reported on but didn't because I thought it was, like, there wasn't really anything to talk about was this one article from GQ called Timothee Chalamet has entered his post-swag era. But it's basically them just being like, Timothy wear normal clothes? He just wear hoodie and sweatpants?
Oh, so relatable.
Not runway, not fashion.
Wow, what a normie.
Is it statement? Is it intentional? Does he know? GQ doesn't write about Timothee Chalamet as much as I thought they did. They write like 12 articles a year, so like at least once a month. It felt like it was weekly. I guess it's once a month, but still a lot. I mean, but we're doing the article from July 20th by Eileen Carter. Timothee Chalamet is dressing like it's 2012 all over again.
It's so weird to me because, like, to me 2012 was like not that long ago, and I understand that like that's not the case for everybody, time length, how it feels, but I'm just like, what was 2012 style? To me, there was no style. Like, there's like, you go early enough in like 2007, I'm like, plaid Bermuda shorts, I get it, but I'm like 2012, I feel like it was so bland.
I mean, I could tell you
but
what
tell
I was
me more.
rocking. I can tell you what
I
was
were
rocking.
You rocking in 2012?
I was rocking, okay,
how
there was
old were
two
you?
different styles. 9. I was
graduating high school.
Yeah, we know. This is the problem.
Oh, God.
I was wearing... to be fair, I was in... Okay, so I guess it was more like 2012, 2013. This is when I established it. My favorite shirt was a shirt that was blue with black sleeves, and it had like 10 different cat faces on it and a lightning strike, kind of like David Bowie looking.
Okay.
I would wear a purple slouchy beret beanie thing with rhinestones on it. I looked fucking incredible, dude. I had these feather earrings that would have like multiple feathers hanging from them that I wore all the time. And then, ready for this, I would wear a skirt or jean shorts with rips in them. And underneath, I would wear loudly patterned tights and then Ugg boots. I was an icon.
You were a Disney sidekick.
No, literally,
like,
I dressed like the Disney kids. Like, I looked like how no one else dressed. Because, like, no one really dressed like that except for me, Felicia. Like, I would wear scarves as belts.
Oh,
just
I do
tied
remember
around my
that.
weights.
Wow. Yeah.
But here's the article. Timothee Chalamet is dressing like it's 2012 all over again. What, you may wonder, is Timothee Chalamet listening to? First, let's consider his outfit. On a stroll in Manhattan this week, the native New Yorker wore a black Supreme box logo long-sleeve tee, matching black sweatshorts, Saint Laurent cat-eye sunglasses, a New York Rangers cap, how Lydia Tarr of him, and white Nike crew socks hiked up over a pair of blue Converse ex Comme des Garçons play high-top Chuck Taylors. From the looks of it, Timmy's participating in the city-dwelling ritual of going on a little errand walk.
As the New Yorkers, they call it a little errand walk.
I'm going to go grab the link to this article so you can see the outfit they're talking about and how aggressively unremarkable it is. So what the topic of this article is the Comme des Garçons sneakers, which are the Converse with the little hearts on the side of them. Do you remember those?
Yes.
They were very big around then, and Timothee Chalamet is bringing that shit back.
This is not a look.
Yeah, it's just an outfit. It's just like he has owned these sneakers since 2012.
Like, he's drinking Gatorade in a way. He's not, but like he has the attitude of, I'm drinking Gatorade and I'm gonna go eat a turkey sandwich later. Like, this is not groundbreaking.
I think this is just called he still has these in his closet. But okay, we'll keep the fantasy going. On the surface, it's a typical post-swag logo-centric Timmy fit, right down to the telltale anthropomorphic heart eyes emblem on the sneakers. But this particular style of sneakers has lived many lives since Converse and CDG first paired up in 2009, the same year, according to some experts, that fashion died. As a widely available, relatively affordable, and easily wearable streetwear fixture, the CDG Tuck Taylor has survived adoration, ubiquity, and backlash over the last decade and a half. Just as Newton's law of universal gravity dictates what goes up must come down, the laws of streetwear dictate that everything once considered swaggy will eventually be considered swagless, if only to be considered swaggy once more. And if anyone's primed to resurrect a contentious silhouette, it's Timothee Chalamet. This is, after all, a man who wore sweatpants and high-top chucks to the Met Gala.
He's not like other girls.
He wears Chuck Taylors from 2009.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
But back to the music question, let's assume that Timothy tends to regress a bit when he's back in New York City. What? As many of us do when we return to our hometowns. Okay.
We're hypothesizing what he's listening to right now. He's got headphones on and we're just trying to... Now this article is just like, what do we think he's listening?
Literally.
Continue, sorry, this is just blowing my mind right now.
He's probably listening to fucking Bob Dylan or something. I don't know, man. That seems to be his whole personality right now. Perhaps he was listening to the Frank Ocean song Pyramids on repeat. Or maybe, you know what he's listening to? He's listening to fucking Wonka Watch.
He's listening to Wonka Watch. He's saying, oh, my colleagues are doing the good fight.
Yeah, guys. Gotta support my peers. Yeah. Perhaps he was listening to the Frank Ocean song Pyramids on repeat, or maybe even some Beam Me Up Scotty era Nicki Minaj. After all, it's apparently his well-documented New York adolescence as a hammy circa 2010's LaGuardia high school student that nabbed him the titular role in the upcoming Wonka movie in the first place. Wonka director Paul King recently told Variety, confirming the actor didn't even have to audition for the role. When I spoke to him, he was quite keen. He'd done tap dancing in high school, and he was like, I'd like to show people I can do that. The question is, can they affix heel taps to a pair of Comme des Garçons Chuck 70s?
Oh my God.
And that's the end of the article.
Oh my God.
This article was about nothing.
It was about nothing, but I loved it. Because this wasn't an AI article. This was such a human who cobbled this together.
No, this was a human creation.
And in a way, they've grown on me. Kind of like you were saying. Like, this has actually grown on me. Because, like, that had nothing.
And now I'm starting to appreciate the people putting the... I'm starting to appreciate the people writing these articles. They let them go on for so long. The sentences in these articles are so long.
Yeah. Wow.
They say avoid adverbs, and GQ says let's have them all. Let's have them all.
Yeah, keep going.
Honestly, is this my dream job to write these? Because this feels I feel like these people are people who wanted to write satire but never got the jobs at The Onion. So now they're stuck writing these, and they're making it fun. God damn it!
Yeah,
I'm like,
I would love for this to be a turning point for you if you got to write for GQ and do shit like this. Well, now what do we think Timothee Chalamet is listening to? Perhaps a silly little bass.
And half the post swag era one was basically at the end. They're like, he's probably just comfy. But wouldn't it be fun if this was more? And it's like, okay.
I haven't heard the word swag in so many years. You use that much in a single written piece.
GQ does a lot with swag.
From one cozy to another cozy, let me tell you about Zotter Chocolat. Ooh. So Paulina sent us, flag this down for us. So I'm going to read Paulina's email. Hi guys, I absolutely love the pod. I discovered it not even a month ago and I've been binging it nonstop. I am going a little insane, but I love it. I was talking with my dad about this podcast and he reminded me of the Austrian Willy Wonka chocolate factory. There's an Austrian chocolate brand called Zotter's Chocolat, which makes chocolate and has a visible chocolate factory. They give you an intro video and then a spoon, and then you get to walk through a glass walkway tunnel to see the entire process, similar to what we've experienced at Hershey. You get to try the beans, the powder they add, other flavors, the raw chocolate, and everything else. The walkways are made of glass, and you can see all the machinery, all this good stuff, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to skip ahead. My friends and I visited, and we all got a sugar rush. It was super fun. The wackiest thing about it, though, is it also has an animal park, which I'm going to skip some of this because it's fucking wild, Felicia. So I'm going to skip some. I'll come back to it.
I've read the email, but I don't remember it very well. So
yeah,
I remember something about laundry. That's all I remember. Clotheslines?
Oh, there is a washing line that just has underwear and bras hanging from it. Yes.
That's what I remember. That's what stuck with me from this email.
Yeah. So
great to see where my mind is at.
Yeah. So may the Wonka well swallow us all, Paulina. Thank you, Paulina. Zotter Chocolat Factory. Just calling it Zotter. So basically, they make chocolate. Obviously, that is 100% organic and free trade, and they have over 600 flavors. And they're actually one of the first European chocolate brands to be 100% like organic and free trade. So they want to go directly to the farmers. They have a lot of like ethics they want to follow. So it's
that
like
is great to hear.
It was
Hershey,
amazing to
step
hear
up
that.
your goddamn step up your goddamn game.
So I'm just going to read you kind of the biography that Zotter has provided about themselves. And now this is delightful because we have some translation sillies.
Oh, fuck yeah.
From German to English that are like close but not quite. So immerse yourself in the world of chocolate. During the exciting tasting tour through the Chocolate Theater, you will witness live how chocolate is created. You can look inside our production through the glass architecture. At the same time, check out the tasting stations, how the cocoa bean is transformed into chocolate, our favorite thing. Always seeing how is the cocoa bean turned into chocolate. It's a big deal. From the bean to the bar, period. Chocolate is an experience. Over 500 chocolates await you in the chocolate shop. The whole Zotter assortment is available. Hand-scooped chocolates, pure single origin chocolates, drinking chocolates, couverture, handmade organic bonbons, gift sets, and many more. You can also assemble your own individual bonbon box and discover a lot of new flavors. We're looking forward to your visit. So it's a very interactive experience. I would say it's, in terms of looking at the like factory itself, going through the tour, I found a couple different videos that I'll mention here just a second, and the links will be in the description. But it's a lot more, it is a factory. It's not very, well, and obviously the Hershey chocolate factory tour is not like actually the factory. It's like animatronic, you know, whatever. So this really felt more like you were going to a brewery kind of thing. But it's gotcha. But it's really cool that they have like a super interactive experience with it, and that you get to eat all of it, because I am somebody, when I hear a lot about like chocolate and stuff, I want to eat it, which is why I bought chocolate so I can eat it after this episode, because I'm going to want it. The Zotter family business. So Joseph Zotter is the one who birthed this, and he is currently the owner of it, and his daughter Julia also helps a lot. I'm going to drop a delightful little photo of Joseph because I think it'll be nice to look at it as I talk about this. So as we know in the Wonka trailer, Timmy goes and gets a cocoa bean, and he's also saying he's a magician. But I present to you Joseph Zotter, who is currently juggling cocoa beans in a forest.
Hold on. But I gotta get to this. Air. Let me get to this thing. I've never been so excited to look at an image.
They're mid-air. It's so beautiful. And he's got a wristwatch, like,
wow.
I don't know.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, I think he's just I don't know if he's necessarily juggling them. I feel like he's like looking like he's about to grab them. You know what he reminds me of? This posing? What? It reminds me of Steve. Do you remember Steve
from where?
From the fucking Face Off Face Wars episode. The weird little diaper baby we called Steve that was going to grab the nachos. The posing reminds me of Steve. Nothing about this man reminds me of Steve.
Just the posing. Wow. What a horrible connect. I deleted Steve.
For some reason I was
head.
thinking this was going to look like a Haunted Mansion portrait. I'm glad it doesn't.
It makes me so happy.
He looks like your friend's dad.
Yes.
He's 100%. Giving big friend's dad energy. This is not your dad, it's your friend's dad.
It's your friend's dad.
You know how friends' dads sometimes feel like a cartoon character?
Yes.
Like you're meeting them at a theme park and they're the mascot. it's like wow, he's wearing a fedora and he's got a black polo. I think if there was a mascot for friends' dads, this guy would be up there.
Yeah. And so he apparently is very Willy Wonka-esque. And I don't know, I found this in a blog, but basically this person quoted saying that like he doesn't wear same colored shoes.
Wow. Okay.
Also, this place has a chocolate cemetery.
I love that.
Yeah, so I'll kind of walk us through really quickly the factory itself, because the factory tour is kind of interesting, but I feel like all the other attractions that are here are really what make it super chaotic. Their calling card is the hand-scooped chocolate. So when Joseph Zotter started to create chocolate, he looked for a word to describe his vision of chocolate production. It was a mixture of inventive flair and manual labor covered by layers and chocolate coatings. Wild sentence. My dream, inventive flair, and manual labor. Zotter was the first chocolatier to introduce the term hand-scooped in order to make a distinction between his and conventionally poured chocolates. The word scoop also represents the innovation and creativity inherent in hand-scooped chocolate bars. So you literally watch people get a ladle and they have the conveyor belt and they hand scoop it. which at first I was like, is that really innovative? But they do it as like layers, so they keep slowly building up the chocolate.
That's
so
cool.
it's a little more.
I don't know how scoop is necessarily indicative of innovation as a whole. Maybe that's a translation thing.
That's where I was thinking, because again, I first read that and I was like, they scoop it? Like, that's just the spoon?
He's on the case of the hand scoop chocolate.
Yeah.
What's the scoop?
So hand scoop chocolates are basically giant bonbons. They are featuring wonderful flavor combinations. They go on to say they're filled with chocolate miracles consisting of several layers brushed onto long lanes, one on top of the other, by hand. Zotter's flavor combinations are classic, like marzipan and almonds, and amarena cherry, and eccentric like cola and popcorn, and hemp bonbon. They have a lot of weird flavors. Obviously, if you have over 500 flavors, it's going to get weird. They have other chocolates as well beside hand scooped, which some of those other flavors, butter caramel, whiskey, dark chocolate mousse, praline variation, orange liqueur, blueberries on lemon cream, and my favorite, this is all one chocolate bar, seaweed caramel pineapple. Next we have Labuka, which is a bean-to-bar creation of a single origin chocolate. So as you go around, they'll let you know how many cocoa beans from each region is in a bar. So it might say 62% Guatemalan cocoa bean or whatever. So Labuka is going to be 100% Guatemalan chocolate, 100% Dominican Republic cocoa bean. And you can go around and in the first room you can nibble on a cocoa bean, which I imagine is disgusting. But maybe I'm wrong, because I just think of coffee beans and why, I
feel like I can imagine it's like the vanilla type effect,
Yes, where you're like, oh, this could be nice, and then
or as a kid you see cocoa powder and you're like, this is basically Nesquik.
We all make that horrible mistake. But as we know, it's great for keeping that mini M&M tube fresh with the scent,
That's hot chocolate powder,
Oh, my apologies.
Straight.
Don't use cocoa powder. It'll ruin it.
Me on fucking Instructables as an 8-year-old.
Yeah. You got your infusions, which is chocolate and fruit. We have like blackcurrant, passion fruit and orange, sour cherry, lemon. These are just the things I found on the first page. Again, there's like so many flavors. It was overwhelming. Yeah. No worries. They have the classics: white milk, caramel, hazelnut, almond, and dark chocolate. And then we have cheery and nuts, not cherry, cheery and nuts, which are tender, melting praline and fruit. I don't really know what that means. But we have like lemon and pecan, caramel and peanut, apricot and pumpkin seed. So I guess nuts and fruit is going on. So when you enter the factory, the entrance to the building is a cocoa room. There are vines and cocoa beans on the ceiling and a bunch of tubes that have names of the different places they source their cocoa from. You can then see behind a glass wall to the cocoa bean warehouse, which is full of bags of beans. And you're like, oh, beans! It's a self-guided audio tour with TV visuals and peeks into the warehouse. And along the way, again, there's a lot of chaotic art that I will try to share with you. It's giving long neck poo. A lot of it is giving long neck poo. I'm going to show you this. And again, it's hard to get the whole ambiance because some of it is very industrial, and then you'll have pockets of like this. Like this just looks like it was taped, this art piece taped to like...
What the fuck is that?
An HR factory, yeah.
What the fuck?
It's a bunch of ladies with really, really long necks. It, almost like they're trees or something.
The Lorax. Junji
Yes.
Ito's The Lorax is what this is. This is the Beatles going through their finding themselves phase.
Yes.
Very... What the fuck? What?
Yeah.
Why would this be up? It looks like it's
little
a poster
body
board.
I will tell you,
to...
all of the art is horrifying. I don't think I found it. Like, this is probably the more pleasant version of the art options that are there. There are some statues that are... There's some interesting art. We'll leave it there. But, so, you start walking around the factory and then eventually make your way down. There is an intro film of course. How could it be a tour without an intro?
Sorry, one more description. It looks like one of those 1920s perfume ads walked through a cloud of weed and then went through the sick and twisted mind of some guy.
That is the best explanation.
Thank you. Sorry, it just came to me, and
I'm glad you shared that because you helped me process that painting because it also haunted me. And again, it's not like guys, it looks like it was taped in passing. It's not visually
to, like,
what you would expect.
Inside of the glass on the other side, also like in the middle of a factory. It doesn't make it's not big enough.
It's not big enough. There's no signage around it either. It's not like a whole column. It's just there, and I don't know why. And it's a little unsettling. So there is some interesting design things happening, but usually on the other side of the glass wall, there's like other art, and a lot of the art is fondue art. So they have like different spoons lined up, and there's just constantly fondue. I thought it was still for a bit, but like it's active, and I think from some of them you can taste test. So it's just very extra whimsical in that option. I didn't know fondue art was something I was into, but now I really want some fondue art. There are a lot of things in little glass cases in this factory, so if that's something that delights you, highly recommend. It costs $20 to go in here, Austria, which is wild. A ticket to Austria, $20 ticket to get in the factory, and the edible zoo. Yes, edible zoo. We'll get there.
Oh, God.
So we start with a movie, A Cocoa Journey Around the World. So in the Chocolate Theater, they take you on a cocoa journey around the world to Peru, Nicaragua, Belize, Madagascar, and India.
Sorry, one more thing. This seems built for people whose favorite Disney attraction is One Man's Dream. And as somebody who fucking loves One Man's Dream, this is right up my alley.
I have never heard of that ride, but...
it's not a ride. It is a small exhibit of Disney things, including a bunch of miniatures of the parks.
Gotcha.
And I always wanted to go to One Man's Dream more than anything. As an 8-year-old, I wanted to go there. There's a bird you can push buttons and it does animatronic things. Oh, it actually plays a featured role in the Kingdom Keepers book series. He said, "You know what? I think One Man's Dream needs to be in this." I have an obsession with the Kingdom Keepers book series. We've talked about doing it as a mini podcast, either on Buy Me a Coffee or at some point, because I am haunted by these books, and I do still want to do that at some point.
Yes, the shitty books we've read that like make no sense, but we're obsessed with.
Haunted by that series.
Oh my gosh.
They communicate via DS chat.
That's insane. That's another
It's
level.
One of the most of an era books I've ever read in my life. Anyway. Continue.
Oh my gosh. On their website, they say the best of all our film journeys of the last few years since May 2022 and a new, previously unreleased and entertaining version with English subtitles. Anyway, you get the classic, this is where we traveled to directly meet the cocoa farmers that we work with. And you kind of get to see them hand first talk about all the good stuff. You know, your classic thing. But while you're watching it, you're sitting on bags of cocoa beans.
Oh.
No, that's a little silly. That's a little silly. So you continue through the factory, and they have all your classic stops, basically. There's the roaster, debacterization, which had a lot of pipes. A lot of it's not super interesting to look at because it's all the same, like, metal pipes, and then they'll just have a very bland sign. But I will say the factory itself, you're like, okay, it's a factory. Again, as you go through, you have all these tasting stations, and, you know, people say they gave you a spoon. It's a fucking ladle. I just dropped it in the drop zone. You get a fucking ladle to go to town on, and I feel like it would be very easy to overwhelm yourself, because I believe they have 16 different taste stations.
This almost looks like a ramen spoon. This is like
exactly,
kind of a ramen spoon.
Yes.
It's bigger than a spoon, but it's not a ladle. I was picturing a soup ladle, and I was like, what the fuck?
They do chill out a bit,
but it is,
little more manageable. I feel like I'd have my massive fear whenever I eat chocolate is that it's all over my face, usually because it is.
Yeah.
I feel like this could be really chaotic, but the chocolate fondue just blows my mind. So I put a picture. There's one that's like all twisty, and I think the food, the chocolates are, there's soy, there's rice white, and then there's coconut rice chocolate, which is intriguing.
There's like a spigot, which almost it looks like.
Yeah,
right?
it's like when you go to like a lemonade jug thing, you know, it's one of those.
Because I was wondering how they would do the sanitization, and that makes more sense. That makes me feel better.
Yeah. I imagine there's some horrible moment that happens once in a while where it breaks, and there's just a person trying to stop the chocolate, and it's going everywhere. That just seems So silly. So you're also watching the workers do some stuff. So you eventually come to the hand scooping moment and you're watching them ladle out the chocolate and they're like popping the chocolate out of like ice cube trays. And I always think it's like interesting to watch that stuff. But I'm like, what's it like to be a worker and have people just be watching you constantly? What if you have a wedgie? I got very stressed thinking about it. You go through a hallway that's called a catwalk for no reason. And that's when you start seeing, there was like more things in glass cases. They looked like mini vinyls, and you could pick up like an old telephone and listen to something, but there was no translation and I couldn't figure out what was going on. But they looked like creepy children's books.
Fun.
But like vinyl. But then I also don't know if they were edible. I have no idea. But they were like rotating. And then the drinking chocolate packaging station. So you can get like a cup of milk, a chocolate bar. You put the chocolate bar in the milk and then you stir it up and then you have like a different chocolate drink. But like, it's not necessarily like you put chocolate syrup, but it's like a solid chocolate bar and then you froth it. Then there's chocolate pumps. They just look like pumps. There's nothing wild to it, but they brought me joy. They look like if you were to like milk a chocolate, I don't even know what that means, but like, you know, dairy cows in their situation, the milking machines.
I don't like it when you talk about milk.
I don't either. I'm now going to break down some of the top tasting stations. These are some people's favorites. I took this from Travelin' Mad, the blog. So there's the 8-cylinder nougat pump, which I'm pretty sure is what we're looking at over there. Don't put that spoon away just yet. There's a nougat station with 8 fountains running with creamy, smooth, different flavored nougats. So I'm like, delightful. The dental clinic. This one is great for kids. Sit in the dental chair and open wide for a chocolate shot from a syringe loaded with a bonbon filling.
What the fuck?
What in the actual hell?
Hey, what are we doing?
I don't have a photo of the... God, I wish I did. But, like, can you imagine you're sitting in a chair in public and someone shooting chocolate into your mouth? Oh, gosh. Nishido and Bioeffect robot. Make a selection from the touchscreen menu of what you see behind the glass, bonbons and small Nishido bars, just little chocolate bars. The bright red robot picks out your selection and serves it up with a different robotic flair each time. I imagine a dancing robot.
How many robotic flares can there be? I'm guessing 4.
Only, as the world knows, there's only four kinds of flair.
There's only 4 kinds of robot flares in this world.
Then there's drinking chocolate online. Pick a bar of your favorite chocolate from tiny little cable cars, and no joke, it's like 5th graders made it. They're metal tiny cable cars, and you order your chocolate, and then it'll slowly come up the cable car, and then you just pick it up.
That sounds amazing. That just
and then, this is like, the thing.
When you're a kid and you're playing like train, and I loved being the conductor playing train, but I would get one of those hole punches, and my tiny hands could not push down the hole punch, so I'd be sitting there like fucking like on this like metal hole punch to try and cut a piece of paper. Oh man, memories.
Oh, no. So this is where that drink I was talking about comes from. You get a small metal tray with a tall hot chocolate glass and a wire whisk. Melt the chocolate bar in the warm milk and enjoy. Then there's the Balaros Cauldron Bar. This room has small copper cauldrons like mini cement mixers, tossing small crunchy chocolate bars around inside. Reach in and try a handful. Running chocolate. This is so unique. Crazy and outlandish fillings such as seaweed, caramel, pineapple, blue poppy seed, and boozy couple, hemp, and schnapps are spread by hand on a long table, sometimes as many as 6 layers. The layers are then covered with a fine chocolate. Then you watch the hand scooping. He uses the term hand scoop for the manual labor involved, blah, blah, blah. Pickle fishing. Pickle fishing. After this much chocolate, you're going to want to cleanse your palate. So fish a cornichon, small pickle, out of one of the containers, and apparently it brings you back to life, clears the sweetness, and makes, I think, like a hydration. It may sound a little strange, but with a cup of cold water, it actually works. It gets you ready for more tasting. So the way that you would smell coffee beans to keep smelling perfumes, you eat a pickle, and I guess you can go back to eating chocolate. Hot tip. I went through the timeline of Zotter, and this really stood out to me. In 2017, the world's first Choco robots started working at Zotter. Industry 4.0 means blending skilled handcrafted with innovation. Zotter wants to demonstrate that robots do not eliminate jobs, but instead substitute other machines, thereby safeguarding the future of existing employees. The robots add more precision to the process and enable individual manufacturing. At the moment, they're putting fillings into the wafer-thin Nishido bars. In the future, Joseph Zotter wants to deploy the robots to produce individual bonbons tailored to specific customers. The demand for individual and one-of-a-kind products will continue to rise. The Choco robots are also one of a kind. They were developed by a group of students in the face of initial resistance by older engineers. The robots are the first of their kind and are a perfect fit for Zotter and our desire to increasingly invest in innovative ideas. So chocolate robots, officially a term and brand of robot, made me very happy and scared and depressed.
Wild Chocobots was not done, but that's okay.
A couple other attractions is the Edible Zoo, which... So... Where do I even get in with the Edible Zoo? So their whole point also is they want to make you look at your food. So part of it's a petting zoo, and part of it is this is the food that you eat, because they do have an organic hot dog stand and
wow.
another little cafe thing, I believe. And they source all their food from their farm. They are self-sustainable. They have like solar panels and everything. But the whole point is you go through this little zoo, which I think they said could take you like upwards of 2 hours. And they list... First off, calling it an edible zoo is horrifying, because I was like, oh, it's going to be like a little chocolate room. No, it's the animals you might eat.
Oh my God.
Let me read a little snippet of how they describe this, because there's some interesting translation as well.
I mean, like, there's part of me that's like, I understand this, and I think it is kind of a good thing to make people think about, like, what it is they're eating. Do you know what I mean? Just so you're aware. Do you know what I mean? Like, I actually can kind of understand that and get behind that. But also, if I was 8, I would have started crying so hard if I went through this. I would have cried.
Yes.
I'm somebody who couldn't eat a chocolate bunny because I thought it was too anthropomorphic. Too much for me.
This is how they describe it. Organic adventure farm and food culture. The Edible Zoo invites adults and children alike for animal pleasures and relaxation. Explore our adventurous organic farm experience where endangered animal breeds live and regional fruit and vegetable varieties thrive. In our organic deli, you can find delicacies from the Edible Zoo and our homemade desserts. Our hot dog stand and courtyard grill offer small dishes and drinks for takeaway. The Edible Zoo is an outdoor experience, organic, up close, and personal. Alongside fascinating nature and sustainability experience, time for relaxation, the zoo also offers fun and action with a giant slide, farmer's golf, and an adventure playground. I don't know what farmer's golf is, but it sounds like a time. The next headline, look the food into the eyes.
Whoa.
It's super. Animals and plants are creatures and no products. I think not products is what it's supposed to be there. Therefore, we intend to treat them with love and respect. Being self-sufficient and autonomous had always been Joseph Zotter's dream. With the Edible Zoo, he has made his dream come true. Now he asks all his visitors to visit from our menu in the deli or hot dog stand in order to enjoy what is thriving in the Edible Zoo. Species-appropriate animal husbandry on 95 hectares, with rare animal breeds, energy autonomous, and closed ecological cycles. So you can visit the Edible Zoo for free with your ticket. It's included. And here's a list of some of the animals in there. We got Highland cattles, water buffaloes, Mangalitsa pigs, curly-haired hogs, Swabian hall swines, Duroc pigs. They also start listing what's edible and not edible, so I'll let you know once we hit the inedible animals. Sumalter chickens, ducks, geese, turkeys, sheep, goats, fallow deer, Belgian giant rabbits, so you can eat those, donkeys, petting zoo, not edible, ponies, not edible, bees, beneficial, not edible. Carps, tenches.
Me sitting there with a hand in the bee jar. Oh no! Oh no!
What about my bee salad? How am I going to make my bee pudding? Carps, tenches, as well as catfish are swimming in the ponds. Llamas, birthday present and reminder of cocoa countries such as Peru and Bolivia. Doesn't list that they're not edible. Oh, no, they are. Petting zoo and not edible. Okay, thank God. Alpacas, not edible. Bennett wallabies, not edible. Ostriches, black rats, not edible. And then another wild headline. Why should you not eat the animals which you have caressed?
Here's the thing. I understand this, and, like, I'm not against it. And I feel like this makes sense for, like, Germany, Austria. I don't know, like, this feels like very their street. And I think it's cool. But also, if I was 10, I would have cried going to this. Like, as an adult, I can understand, like, this is a good point to make of, like, sustainability and things like that. If you want to do things autonomously, like, this is stuff you have to think about, and I think that's cool. But also, it is wild that they're like, also, you can eat them.
Yeah, because some of their chocolates have blood in them, and they will source it from their edible zoo. I'm not joking.
Wow.
I know.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So that's the edible zoo. And that easily transitions us to the chocolate cemetery, where it's the cemeteries of ideas of the past. Sepp Zotter, who was one of the older generations who ran Zotter, set gravestones for past chocolate varieties and ideas that ended up either not doing well, or they just had to stop doing it for a bit. They've made little tombstones. I'm going to drop it in the drop
love
zone.
this concept.
I think it's fucking hilarious. They have a lot of, like, they really take humor in stride, and they kind of, some articles mention it too. Like, they're just very, rolling with the punches on the sillies. So each tombstone has a candle.
Oh my god.
And it'll have the dates it lasted.
This looks way more somber than I expected, though. They're like marble slabs. Oh, they're meant to be chocolate. I see. Okay. Mm-hmm. But it looks like these like stone marble slabs in like very performing arts fundraiser font.
Yes. And they have plaques on them. It's so funny.
Boy, there's a lot of these, aren't there?
Some of the flavors in this graveyard. Sausage, mustard, praline.
Yeah, I think I could have told you.
Cornelian cherry with pig blood. Strawberry with lobster.
I think all of these are like, yeah.
Cigar flavored, which had to stop due to the toxicity.
Oh my god, what the fuck?
So some of these they'll bring back for a little bit for seasonality. They'll do limited runs, like they'll go back, but they mention like why they have so many like taste testing stations is because they know, and you know, a personal preference on flavor, but they're like, no, this flavor works, but obviously who's gonna try sausage, mustard, praline? Nobody. But if you have a spoon and you're in the factory and you're having fun taste testing all these things, you're more likely to actually try it. And then maybe you will like it because, you know, it's a smaller dose. You're not looking at a whole chocolate bar. The way that I ate a whole Hershey birthday cake chocolate bar over the span of a couple of days and hated the entire thing.
Yeah.
That was a lot. But, you know, you get a little taste test and, like, there's a better chance that you can play with it. So the chocolate cemetery, what a beautiful time. There is an art park. I'm just going to quickly drop more of the horrifying art, and I would love for you to...
Sorry, I just want to say, if they were smart, they would sell a chocolate box in the gift store that is the chocolate graveyard.
Oh my gosh.
That would
be fantastic.
Like wow.
So...
Is that the one from... Isn't that girl from, like, fucking Hey Arnold?
That's what I thought that was the case too. I don't know if it's just a resemblance, but it really is giving Helga from Hey Arnold energy. It's my worst nightmare. I don't even know how to describe
this is
statue.
Almost Wallace and Gromit too. It's very Helga from, but if she was drawn in the scary SpongeBob realism and was recovering from some sort of illness. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, scroll down to another one. This is also a little Wallace and Gromit.
But like zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, zombie apocalypse, Paranorman, Wallace and Gromit style.
Eating his fingers?
Hate this.
I hate it too. I hate it too.
These.
That was my only note on the art
limbs are too long. Yeah, I don't like this. I can't really cope with this, so I'm just gonna move that off my screen. Thank you.
Yeah. Last few things. If you bring your dog to Zotter's, why was I about to call it Zonkers? Zotter's. Zonkers. You can bring your dog if you're traveling, but they can't go inside. So they offer these 12 little dog crates. And it looks like, I don't even know. It looks both cute and like you're going to prison. Like doggy prison. Here, I'll drop the link so you can go check it out. It's very, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about leaving my dog there. I think they're also made for, like, I guess they have some bigger dog sizes, but it looks a little depressing. But it's nice, I guess, that they offer that option if you're, like, doing a road trip and this is, like, their version of, like, the giant ball of yarn. But they're very small.
Outside.
Yeah. Cage. They're wooden little houses, essentially. Think Marie Antoinette's little playhouses she had, but smaller.
Or a doghouse.
And to wrap this all up, Felicia, they have a golden ticket giveaway going right now that ends September 15th. Starting with
sorry, Elaine. You can bring the dog to the edible zoo.
Interesting. Usually,
every dog owner who wants to place his dog in the Hunsdorf has to fill out a form. Available at the chocolate theater counter. It's free, but you need to put a deposit there to make sure you pick up your dog.
That's good.
And water bowls are available on inquiry.
Okay. It's wild to me that let the dogs go to the edible zoo. Usually you aren't allowed to bring your dog to any animal related.
Hey.
So this golden ticket giveaway going on right now, starting with World Chocolate Day on July 7th, 2023 until September 15th, 2023. For any order with a value of $100 or more, one ticket will be included for every $100 spent. These tickets grant you the opportunity to win the coveted golden ticket for an all-expenses-paid trip to Austria in June 2024 to visit the renowned Zotter chocolate factory. Flights, transfers, hotel, a 3 to 4 hour chocolate and aperitif tour, which is chocolate and wine. They have like a chocolate and wine tour as well. Through the factory, a 1 hour personally guided tour by Julia Zotter, and you can spend all day to roam around, plus visit the edible zoo with lots of attractions. Oh, Felicia, I'm really tempted. I am tempted to buy $100.
You do have to spend $100, though.
You do. You have to spend $100 on chocolate. They do have a couple packages of like $80 chocolates, and they're all the different kinds. And I'm like, what if I bought all this chocolate and then I just described to you what it tasted like? So I don't know. If I get depressed and decide this will make me happy, we'll circle back.
Here's our full month's buy me a coffee.
Here's our full month's buy me a coffee. I'm about to be blood chocolate, not blood orange, blood. So yeah, I don't know. And yeah, I guess guys, if you want to see if you win that golden ticket and you go to Austria, please give us a shout out. Let us know. Give us a shout out. Hey, if we can't go to the premiere, let's go to Austria. How about that? That's a thing I'm willing to turn around. Oh my gosh.
Oh my
so
God.
that is Zotter's Chocolate Factory. Lots of fondue art, lots of scary art, an edible zoo, chocolate robots, and hand-scooped chocolate bars, all organic and fair trade, which is just nice to be able to talk about something ethical on this podcast that relates to Willy Wonka.
Nice.
Very refreshing.
Yeah.
Very refreshing. So yeah, that's all she wrote. Bada boom, bada
I love
bing.
that. That was really interesting. I love a good chocolate theme park. I love a theme.
Yes.
That was really nice. I really enjoyed that. I got to do a little crochet while I listened. It was so soothing and calming, learning about this weird edible zoo and scary paintings.
I feel like they could totally pull off a train. Not to be that bitch.
Yeah. That's why I was excited about the cable car, because it had notes of train.
Yes. Very silly whimsy. They really lean into like the
literally our
tech.
note every time is, I think this could use a train, though.
They could always use the train. We all know restaurants are like 20% better if you see they have a little like toy train going around the ceiling of the that's how you know it's classy.
Oh, much better. That's why Wegmans, has the monopoly it does in the area
I need to go,
I live in.
because I've never been. Man.
Train over the dairy aisle.
Oh my God. I'll write a letter to Harris Teeter. That's our big grocery store down here. I'll be like, yo,
Where
Teeter.
is the train?
Teet, give me my train. Well, did any of that inspire some prequel predictions for you?
fuck, I forgot, man.
Do you think there'll be an edible zoo in the movie?
Do you think Timmy Wonka's a vegetarian? Because he seems like he would be. This isn't a prediction. I'm just making conversation.
Probably just due to the fact he can't afford meat. And so he's like, yeah, I'll just stick with this. This is good. Celery. He's a celery Wonka.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that your prediction? He's a celery Wonka?
No, that's not my prediction. That's a fact, Felicia.
Maybe he has a failed past invention that someone keeps bringing up, and he keeps going, we don't talk about that. Like, he'll never elaborate on it, and there's no, sort of, I don't want to talk about that one. Like, he'll say something like, and then I invented this, but we don't need to talk about that. You know?
I like that. I like that a lot. I think someone will get brain freeze.
That's smart. Yeah, with the ice cream bar.
Get a little brain
ice cream bar.
Yeah, because I think Fickle Grubber's the one who stole. Well, I don't know if we'll have the not melting ice cream. Probably not yet. But if that gets thrown out, there was the ice cream bar we saw in one of the scenes.
Exactly.
So there's hope there. I'm trying to be a little more realistic with my predictions now, which means none of them will still become right. I kind of want to get all of mine wrong. I kind of, you know what I mean? Like,
I think it would be so impressive if we got nothing right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that'd be great.
It'll be objectively hilarious if one of us is totally right and the other one's totally wrong.
Yes,
like
and
the fact that we both
you get it totally right and
material.
I get it totally wrong would be fucking amazing, and I kind of want that to happen. Like, I don't want to have like a pathetic amount be right, because that's almost sadder than if I just full on got it wrong.
Yeah, and I think it would be good. I'm happy with whatever happens, and I'm open to whatever way life wants to take it.
That's so healthy.
I live in the moment.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I think this was a great episode. I really loved learning about it. What was the place called again? Because I keep wanting to call it Zetterling, and I know that's not what it is.
Well, no, you're right, because then I wanted to go Zotterans. It's Zotter Chocolat.
Zotter.
Yeah.
Zotter. Okay, gotcha.
Zotter, yeah.
I knew the Z.
Can you imagine all of that for $20 US?
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Pretty amazing.
That's pretty fun. If I'm ever in Austria, which probably not going to be anytime soon, I'll stop by.
I have a friend and I who were trying to plan our next little trip, and it might be to Austria, because I think they also have like a mega slide in the mountains you can go down.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and you have a little like break. That's how intense it is. And I kind of want to do it. It looks horrible.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to this episode of Wonka Watch. If you like this episode and you want to follow us, you can do so on TikTok and Instagram at Wonka Watch, and you can send us emails and give us more special tips like this at wonkaraptor@gmail.com.
Thanks again, Paulina, for sending this in.
Yes.
Very delightful.
We appreciate all your guys' emails. We're a little bit behind on responding to emails, but if you send it to us, we have seen it. Our lives have just been crazy, and we appreciate all you guys reaching out. It really makes our day genuinely. It
makes us so happy and warms our little hearts.
It feels important for a slight moment.
It's like a little hot chocolate. Like, my heart is the milk, and you guys bring me the chocolate, and then it makes a hot chocolate.
Do you think the chocolate is hot? Going into the milk?
I think it was the milk, but I do like the idea of the milk is cold and the chocolate is just searing hot, and they have to get the blacksmith tongs. They're just
it would be melted,
blacksmith tools.
It would be melted, but I do love the enthusiasm.
Oh my god.
And if you want to support the podcast, you can do so at buymeacoffee.com/WonkaWatch. Wow. And when you get, what the fuck is that? Sorry. I just, what the fuck is that?
So some of the candies are also, look as strange as the art. It's like a...
Sorry, guys. I went back to the drop zone that we used to put all our images in, and I just got faced with this horrifying... What the fuck is this? Okay,
it's a Berry Heart Deluxe.
This is fucking disgusting.
No, it's a super cute chocolate heart in the shape of a sweet berry made from soft pink raspberry and coconut couverture, obviously.
Okay, so it's that, but it has all these nerds dotting on it, basically, essentially. Or berries or whatever the fuck. It's got eyes, eyebrows, and a white nose that's I guess coconut or something. And then it has this horrible,
mouth. Hard to say.
horrible green weed strain hair.
Moldy cauliflower vibes.
Moldy cauliflower. And
scary.
I went back to the page expecting just to see the horrible sculpture she showed me before, and I went back and saw this that you dropped in. Did not tell me you put in.
I figured, I was like, no, you know what? The moment's passed. We're good. We'll keep it safe. Nah.
This will be on the episode cover, ladies and gents. Just so you know what we're talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Good fucking lord. Okay, well, Grace Courtney is now a member of our Buy Me a Coffee, and Grace said, I'm listening to Elaine's Augustus rap as I'm typing this and can barely focus on what I'm writing, but I love the podcast and never thought I'd be invested in the Wonkaverse. I started listening a few months back, but I'm here to see this beautiful undertaking through to the end and wanted to give you guys a little support. And check your email soon. I wanted to tell you guys about my Boral bot. Ominous, but I'm
So
looking forward to learning.
Amazing. Oh my goodness.
But thank you so much, Grace Courtney. Our song for today, I've prepared a song for you called Downtown Metropolis Chase.
Oh my gosh.
It starts in a second. Give it a second to build up.
There you go, down on the metro station. Watch out, there's the spy, the chocolate spy. Grace Courtney, stealing all the recipes to make your own factory. Better watch out, better be sneaky, better watch out for Grace Courtney. Ba-dow. Grace Courtney, the chocolate spy. Watch out, or you might die. The Chocolate Spice News Network, founded by Fickle Grubber and Wolf Blitzer, proudly initiate their new recruit, Grace Courtney. Thank you so much for swinging by. Here's your medal.
Wow. That felt very avant-garde. That felt very Philip Glass.
That was a fanfic of the fanfic.
Yeah, it was a little bit like a
Fickle
Laurie
Grubber.
Anderson song. That's a reference no one's going to get, and I barely even get. But you know what? That's what I'm here for.
Well, thank you, Grace Courtney, so much.
Thank
and
you.
I hope you enjoy being a chocolate spy. Are you pro Team Alice or Bridget Brigade or the Emily Fish? I don't even know. I keep losing track.
I do want to let you know, on the Alice episode that came out, Emily Fisher left a comment on the Spotify that says, I'm thrilled to be a collective hive mind of fish. So... Which I forgot was the thing.
Yes.
It was a collective hive mind of fish.
I mean, someone a bog witch, I feel like. I don't even know. What am I even fucking doing?
You know,
well,
thank you, everybody. And thank you, Grace. And I mean, I don't really know. There's not like, well, this was important. This was a very unimportant episode. Like, this was a fun episode, but you could definitely skip this one and not really miss anything. Like, it's worth listening to, and we appreciate all you guys listening, but like, we're under no illusion that this was like a big event, you know?
This is a smooth jazz episode.
A smooth jazz episode, a relaxing curl up by the fire. It's not your season finale extravaganza.
It's the Golden Girls episodes where they sit around and eat cheesecake at midnight and they go, do you remember when that happened? And then they flash back to an episode that already happened, but a little fresher because it's a new thing.
Yeah. Essentially, we just said this is a filler episode, but it's nice having you guys here.
But at the end of the day,
it's not that important.
It's not that important. Edible Zoo.
Timothee Chalamet is bringing swag back, but it's not that important.
He's bringing swag back. He's bringing swag back. Not important. Bye.
Bye, guys.